Hell yeah.
It's only a minute. We are live. Let's hit music.
Oh, I need to share it, baby.
Baby, chunks up.
Baby. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. Sports program, Saturday, June 13th. It is I, Derek on TSPN. It is Sean at Home Run Jack 1987. This is all Twitter, by the way. And, of course, Zach at Quack Swan. Twitter. We're here. We're ready to go. We're locked and loaded. As Sean would say, his body is waiting.
No, my body is ready.
Oh, your body's ready.
But it also is waiting for you.
It is also waiting.
Eagerly.
We actually have things to we have things to talk about this week. I want to show a funny video first, and then I will have some conversations based on that. So let me share screen.
In case you're wondering what I'm doing over here, I am pinning the video to the top of the page. I do it every week when the show starts, because if I don't, then I will forget it later.
How's everybody doing today?
Sean, you want to take this one?
Yeah, so I'm doing great. I just poured a lot of gin, and we bought some paint for our house, and we're painting.
Oh, special shout out to my friend Thomas Rudy and his new bride, Marissa Rudy, as they just got married today.
Okay.
They were supposed to have a big old wedding, and then they couldn't do that because of the COVID. And then now they still decided they didn't want their lives to be on hold, so they got married. And then next year they're doing, I guess, a wedding again, basically.
Cool.
So we had a little bachelor party last night. We played Mortal Kombat and played video games at a friend's house.
So that sounds like a perfect wedding, if you ask me.
I mean, I think they got married at Chief Timothy, and they had just a group of friends and like their best man and like basically their witnesses and some family. Yep. So congratulations to them. Very cool. Very awesome.
Congrats.
Also, special little shout out from for the Wooden Nickel, the unofficial bar of sports program. Check out the Wooden Nickel in Lewiston. I believe they are back in business. I am not going to bars as quite yet, but I do think you can still get growlers from Wooden Nickel if you're still not feeling, good about going to a bar. We're in Idaho, so this is the land of the lawless, where apparently it's Mad Max and you can do whatever you want. Now you can go to bars again.
Yeah, but anyway. There were 10 confirmed cases in Boise this week, and all 10 of them were from downtown bars. Like, every single one of them was traced back to, like, the same spots. So,
So
go outside, everybody.
So go to the bars all the time.
Yeah, maybe hang tight.
I
don't want to promote a bar and then say don't go to the bar, but I'm saying when everything is back to normal, go to this bar. It is a great bar.
I'm saying go to the bar right now. For sure. Like, do not hesitate. Don't even finish this episode. Go to the bar now, because we have to, right? Like, staying home and not supporting local businesses is pretty dumb.
Yeah, you're right.
And the amount of, like, lives lost, this is probably all going to sound super insensitive, but is in Idaho is a minimum compared to the amount of people whose businesses are struggling, and therefore lives are being ruined by things being closed. So,
also, to add to that, I think there's a way of navigating it. I haven't figured out. If I was going to go to a bar today, like if I was going to go to the Wooden Nickel, the unofficial bar of sports program, what I would do, this is easy, you guys. Because the Wooden Nickel is a pretty spacious bar. It's pretty spacious. Go in there. See if there's a table free with your friends. If there's a table free, go take that table. If you walk in there and it looks a little too crowded for you, go home and wait a little bit and then go back later. Just test the waters, man. Dip a toe in.
I should say that what I was trying to say is more in line with what you're saying.
Yeah.
So if you're going to go places, don't be stupid about it.
Like, don't be,
The big problem here the big problem here is that there's like X's on the ground for where
Yeah.
you should stand when you're waiting for a drink, and nobody's following any of those
Yeah,
rules.
so don't do that.
And so just follow the rules that a place has established. One. Two, if you like a place and want to keep supporting them, but you don't want to go inside, buy a growler, get it to go, and don't go inside. My favorite brewery, I have been to more now probably than I did before COVID because I want to support them. And I just get the beer to go every time.
Also, Brian Nygaard, who's one of the owners of the Wooden Nickel, tells me that they have shirts and hats that you can buy. So if you go walk in there and you're like, man, I'm a little uncomfortable, there's too many people in here, go buy a hat or a shirt and at least support them. You know, we got to give these businesses their money, especially little bars, little privately owned bars. Come on. All right, here's a video. This video is funny. I think you guys will like it. First off, I want to say I feel like this gentleman watched my Brave Sam videos and ripped me off, which is fine. It's better.
Okay. No, it's not fine, but I'll go write
better.
Some messages on this guy's YouTube.
No, he's funny. They're really good. Honestly, I like him a little bit more than the Brave Sam stuff. But...
No, the Brave dude. I'll tell you about the Brave Sam stuff after this.
Okay, so here we go. This is this guy. Oh, hold on. Sorry.
That NASCAR's not gonna let their fans
Hold on.
fly the.
I'll rewind it.
So I just seen on Fox News that NASCAR's not gonna let their fans fly the Confederate flag at their races no more, and that pisses me off. That flag is history. You need to leave it alone. It's heritage, not hate. It just so happens that my heritage is hate, and I'm like Linus from Charlie Brown, and that treason rag is my security blanket, and I don't feel safe if I can't have it. And how is it a symbol of hate in the first place? Just because it was a flag of a group of people who went to war to fight for their right to keep another group of people as property and treat them as subhuman? I don't think so. You're just giving into PC culture, NASCAR. Shame on you. I can't watch no more football. They're taking the Confederate monuments out of the park by my house that I just learned we had and all of a sudden care deeply about. And then there's you, NASCAR. You traitors, you Benedict Arnold. You need to leave politics out of it and stop making me question my morals. Unless it's Donald J. Trump driving around the track at the Daytona 500 earlier this year, you need to leave politics out of it. All of you, I wish all these bands would just shut up about politics and play their songs about politics. Stop making me think about stuff. So today, I'm going to raise my emotional support beer to you, NASCAR, because I'm done. And you're going to need this once all us fans boycott you. I'm done. And to all my fellow ex-NASCAR fans, I'm sorry for your loss. And I'll see you at the Brickyard 400 in July. And as always, fuck the NFL and go Coats.
Okay. Anyways, all I had to say about the Sam videos is my friend who has been on the beer review with me has watched some of your videos.
Oh, good.
And he came up to me one time or at work. He talked to me at work and he's like, dude, those are so funny.
I appreciate that.
Well, that's because that's not you, right? That's a different guy.
Yeah, that's a different. I gotta step up my game though, because that guy is fucking hilarious.
Dude, he killed it.
Treason rag. I love he calls it a tree. Oh my god, some of this stuff.
What's the name of that video? Richard wants to know where he can find that.
I have. We found it on Reddit. It's Patriot sees beloved NASCAR pandering to the libs. It was on Reddit. See if I can find where it's actually at.
Can we also end today's episode with that video again?
Yes, we can. We can
just in
watch
case some people missed it.
Yeah. We'll play it again at the end of the video. It's great. Dude, the guy's hilarious. I also love the part about the monuments out by my house that I just learned about and all of a sudden care deeply about.
Yeah, that was my favorite part.
Oh fuck, man, that's funny. Yeah, we'll play the video again at the end of the show. Man, so Brave Sam has got some stiff competition. He's gonna have to step up his game because that is good. That is some good stuff.
Well, I like the weird garage he was in.
Oh, so do I. I also love that. I was really excited to play that video for you guys because I could tell at the very beginning of the video you guys were both confused on what direction it was gonna go.
Oh yeah, I was definitely,
because when I first watched it, I was like, what is this dude? He looks like he would be.
And for sure, that dude definitely really watches NASCAR.
Oh, sure. But he obviously is lighthearted about his sport that he likes, and he obviously is a little more woke, I guess, than your average NASCAR.
I don't know a better name for it. So the douchebags of the world call people like him a woke warrior.
A woke warrior.
And by the way, if that's an insult, who the fuck cares? Like, if someone called me a woke warrior, I'm like, yeah, probably. Yeah. I wear that shit like a badge of honor if someone calls you something that douchey. Like,
very funny though.
Hilarious. I thought you were showing us a serious video for us to talk about afterwards.
I know,
that's
exciting.
I'm like, wow, this episode's gonna get deep.
I was excited to do that. I've been waiting to show that video to you guys.
I loved it. I love that guy. I mean, you could tell he was like, who?
He's got a good sense of humor.
The only reason you know that guy really watches NASCAR is because he specifically brought up the Brickyard 400.
Yeah.
Also,
I don't know what that is.
Also love the COVID cough at the end of the video.
Yeah.
I guess if anyone's lived under a rock or they are just watching this show and don't watch sports normally, the reason that video is relevant is because they have banned the Confederate flag from all NASCAR races. One, good.
Yeah.
Anyone who talks about it being a regional piece of history, we see these flags in the Northwest.
Oh yeah.
From people from the Northwest.
Yep.
People can make up whatever excuse they want for having one, but they're all excuses.
Super confusing to see them up here.
Yep.
Not only that, it's always been really interesting to me, even since I was younger, because I never understood why those flags were waving. Because I've never heard of if the United States goes and beats a country in a war, usually you would think like, or if a country, just any country, if Wakanda beats another country in a war, you think they fly the Wakanda flag in that country? That's you won. I've never. It's weird that the losers would be like, we still get to fly our flag.
Yeah,
you lost. You lost.
One time, the Falcons had a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl, and they blew it. And
wait! They did?
Right.
I thought they won that Super Bowl.
Did you turn it off at halftime?
Oh yeah, I stopped watching.
I just always assumed.
Whoa! Spoiler alert.
Yeah. So in case you were gonna watch that for the first time, now you can't.
4 years later,
we didn't get Super Bowl participation shirts and hats afterwards that we still wear to this day.
They sent those shirts to the dump.
No, I mean they probably gave them to some like third world country for them.
No, they weren't even worth donating.
If I was in a third world country and they sent me those shirts, I'd be so depressed.
I wonder how many of those third world countries that receive that stuff get really confused if they ever like find out like that other team actually won. Like if they're wearing like a Super Bowl, like a Steelers 1995 Super Bowl win shirt, and they're like, and then they finally come to the United States or something, they're like, what the hell, the Cowboys won that?
So here's the thing: is I want the Super Bowl shirt. So if someone in a foreign country can sell me their the Niners when they lost to the Ravens and then the Niners lost to the Chiefs, I'd buy those.
Oh yeah.
I would wear those lost Super Bowl shirts.
That's actually a really lucrative business idea for somebody in a third world country. Really, actually, try to get to a computer to sell that shit back to us.
I'd buy that.
I'm paying that in the studio.
You know what's really interesting? I've never seen someone, maybe like someone who is very never mind. I've never seen someone wear even the victories, like who are the victors hat or shirt. Like people just don't wear them. They might collect them, but people don't wear them.
Do you know why people don't wear them? Is because they're traditionally the ugliest fucking shirts you've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean they're not good.
I have a Steelers, the year that they went and played the Cardinals in the Super Bowl. After the Super Bowl, I went to like Pro Image and they were selling a discounted Steelers AFC Championship sweatshirt. I still have the sweatshirt and I use it for like, I mean, now it's so old. I wear it to bed and in the winter and stuff. But it's gray and it's ugly. That like those shirts are never. They're always like just a white shirt that someone like screen printed the shit on because they make them fast.
Yeah, and the hats are atrocious too.
Yeah, the hats are hideous.
And the other thing is, I think to add to your point, because I completely agree. Point two, besides for them just being dog shit ugly, is that it's just dated. People in sports don't care who won last year or the year before, let alone 5 years ago. Like sports is just like all about what's going to happen next, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't hear someone even now. It's only been a few months, and you don't hear a Chiefs fan go, "Guys, we won the Super Bowl last year." That's just not going to happen. Yeah. It's just always what's next. That's like the cool thing about sports is you're in the moment and you're always looking forward, and anyone can be excited because anything can happen the next year, right?
Yeah.
So
well, that's the thing is like, well, sorry, go ahead.
It's just who cares? Like if you're like, I'm wearing the 2 years ago Super Bowl hat, people are gonna be like, why are you still wearing that, dude?
Right. Well, isn't that kind of like the same thing of driving around and you see like a car that has like a like Al Gore bumper sticker on there still, or like
yeah.
Oh,
like,
I've seen some very old presidential race bumper stickers lately. Very old ones.
Bush and Cheney 2008, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Like you should take that off your car.
You didn't take the time to get rid of that? You still got that on your car.
It also shows how long they've owned that car.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And that's the thing, like with what you were saying, like last year, I didn't think the Niners were going to go to the Super Bowl. What? I did not think 100%.
Sure.
The whole season, I was like, halfway through the season, everybody I knew was like, "Are you excited?" And I was like, "No, this is too good to be true."
I think as a typical fan of your team, everyone does it.
But that's not the case.
You're a fan when you're a fan of your team. You're cynical. I mean, I always. I mean,
see, that's not how I was when the Niners went and played Baltimore. I was talking shit all year. When Alex Smith was running the show, and then once he got hurt, I was like, "Oh no!" But then Colin came in and destroyed the Bears, and I was like, "Never mind, it's fine."
On the years where Colin Cowherd says the Steelers are a train wreck, are the years where I'm like, "I bet you they'll do pretty good these years." Mm-hmm. And on the years where everyone says the Steelers are going to be like the best team, like when they had Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, I was like, I do not like having this much positive conversation about my team. Shut the fuck up. You're jinxing it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
quit talking about how good the Steelers are because then they didn't go.
I have a point to that real quick. Derek, not everybody is cynical about their sports team. We are all cynics. And we are all cynical about our sports team.
It just has to do with who you are, right?
Yeah, we're cynical about everything that's ever been positive in our lives.
That's true. So. I mean, oh no, fucking Brian. I just talked about how great your bar is, you ass.
Yeah, we spend our Saturdays and Sundays complimenting Brian, and then he comes out here and he's like, "By the way, you guys are pieces of shit."
Yeah, like look at the thing at the bottom of the channel.
Here, hold on. No, let me put on his.
And I've never even been to the Wooden Nickel.
Here, hold on. I got one more.
It's a jet bar.
Here we go.
So,
thanks for the participation.
So, on the note of Colin, is he our enemy?
Oh, that's funny. Oh, I grew up watching Colin Cowherd. I mean, I grew up watching him, and
Well, he
I
should
mean,
be our enemy, though.
him, and he is now. I mean, I think he's actually Zach. I think Zach's dad is the one that said it best. Is like, to paraphrase, it's basically like, you watch Dan because you want to have fun. You watch Rich Eisen because you want to watch nice guys. You watch Colin Cowherd because you want to hate somebody.
Right.
Well, I feel like he talks a lot of real shit, and then like he always.
Thanks, Brian.
I swear he loves the Patriots more than anything.
So he's a Seattle guy because that's like the area that he's from and where he got his career started. So he's a real Seattle fan. But yeah, he is an admitted like Belichick like lover supporter.
Well,
right?
You couldn't tell that he's from Seattle the way he talks about the Patriots.
But he is also the reason people. My dad has brought up this point in the past. The reason people also don't like Colin Cowherd is 2 months after making a really hot take, he completely flip-flops like he never made that hot take. He's notorious for it. He's called like almost every single quarterback, including Russell Wilson, who he kisses the ass of now, a flash in the pan. Because he was right about RG3, right? He was like, RG3, these rookie quarterbacks. He tends to do it with, let's be honest, black quarterbacks. Colin Cowherd is notorious for calling black quarterbacks a flash in the pan and talks about how you have to be a pocket-passing white quarterback to win championships. And then all of a sudden, Pat Mahomes and other people, Russell Wilson, have broken that mold, and now he doesn't talk about it anymore, right? That's just what he does. He makes points, and then he completely changes his mind.
I do think that, to his credit, I will say that on at least each episode, he does have segments called Where Colin is Right and Where Colin was Wrong. I mean, he does. So if you watch it on a micro scale, if you watch each episode, he will do bits where he talks about where he like, especially like predictions and stuff. He'll do a post NFL season where Colin was right, where Colin was wrong. Yeah. I mean, he does. And also, there's still a part of me, I still like Colin Cowherd. I still like the show.
Oh, yeah. I watch it every day. It's the only show I watch every day.
I don't watch it. Yeah. If it pops up on like my feed somewhere, I'll watch his stuff.
I know, and I watch his blazing top tens and stuff. I mean, I don't know. I like it. I like some of the hot takes. I mean, I'm always going to prefer Dan Patrick or Rich Eisen over. I just like them more. I think they're nicer guys. I think Rich Eisen is probably the nicest person in the world. Guy, his show is just so like, he's just such a loving dude, and it's so easy to see. Like when he talks to young NFL players, he's like a dad almost. He's just very dad to them, and it's super sweet. And so you watch that show and you're like, man, this guy loves sports, but he likes people. He likes what he does. And then Colin, you're like, who hurt you?
Yeah, someone did.
And I'd still watch any of those guys over some other people. I think Max, whatever, I can't stand him. Max, the fuck's his name?
Kellerman?
Yeah, can't stand him.
So I will say this. Colin's show, not that we need to have an entire episode talking about other people's shows, but Colin's been a lot better since he got Joy Taylor, because Joy Taylor doesn't put up with any of his bullshit, and like Colin's like a different person now. It's like kind of crazy.
Well, because sorry, go ahead.
Even with the Browns, great example is he's a Baker basher, right? Like he just throws Baker over the coals any chance he gets. And it makes sense. Like Baker's called him out a few times and kind of started like this back and forth, and so ultimately, like Colin's going to point out any situation where he gets to be right. Because you're right, he does do a where Colin was right, where Colin was wrong, but he only does the where Colin was wrong so he can like really push where Colin was right. That's why he does the wrong. Like it's a thing you do as a journalist. You admit your faults, that way you can really drive in when you're right. So he does that with Baker, right? He's like, at the end of the day, he just wants to be right about bashing Baker Mayfield. But in the last few months, he's given a ton of credit to the Browns. I don't know if he's just doing that to set Baker ultimately up for failure in the end, but could be.
And I think Christy Leahy started softening him up a little bit too.
Yeah, she was just too big for that show. You know what I mean? Like she deserved her own platform.
I think him moving to Fox Sports though, and then getting a co-host though, like starting with like Christy Leahy and then now Joy. It's like It's been a really good move for him because when he was on ESPN, he was arguably a lot worse. It was just him.
That's true. It was just if he wasn't interviewing someone, he was by himself.
Right. So he had, it's just him. You don't see a ton of shows like that anymore. You don't like old school ESPN shows, like where it was like Eric Casillas and like just one guy on the radio. You just don't really see that format anymore. There's got to be somebody to bounce it off of.
I think it's hard. Like, imagine doing this show, one of you guys by yourself, or like
Derek. Didn't you try that once?
I did do it one time. I didn't like it.
Like,
it was fine, but it was.
Yeah, when I do the beer reviews by myself, like after like having someone here with me, and then going back to doing one by myself.
Yeah.
And then sometimes like I do the beer reviews live, and when people aren't in the chat or talking, I get uncomfortable. I like to kind of like answer questions or talk to whoever. And if people aren't in the stream and the last 2 streams, no one's been really in there. Yeah. So I kind of get like, all right.
Well, I think shows like, like Dan Patrick's show, he's figured out that format where if you watch his show, he starts off every day with like a monologue, basically, where he kind of recaps the events of the day before, and then the Danettes start chiming in and it becomes the show. And I always really like his beginning part.
And I don't.
Oh, this is not a bad idea. Dan Patrick does Trigger Meat Friday. You also do ice cream Sunday, Saturday.
Okay.
When would we do drinking? That's the same.
I mean, like I'm at a point like with like the thing I do. Yeah, that's a great idea.
I can't eat ice cream.
No.
Well, you can. You got a pill. You can take a pill.
Oh.
You can suffer through it.
That's a slippery slope, my friend.
Hey, we could figure out something, though. I actually like the idea of it.
I've gotten some weird 4 a.m. breakfasts with you that were sketchy, so don't even.
I took Zach, and when Zach was a high schooler, I took him to dinner at Pizza Hut one time, and he ate a bunch of cheesy bread, and he's like, I gotta go throw up. And I was like, why did you eat that? Or he's like, and then that's when he told, I'm lactose intolerant. I'm like, we didn't have to go to Pizza Hut for dinner. But you were just so polite. You were like, yeah, let's go get dinner at Pizza Hut.
Well, I live next to a Pizza Hut now, and I smash Pizza Hut.
Yeah, I'm sure.
To this day.
Like,
you're just a nice guy, though. You didn't say no.
It's on my street, so like.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, not even like a quarter of the mile down the road.
Do they have good wings? I like Domino's wings. Does Pizza have good wings?
Yes, I used to like the Domino's wings more. This is now a wing show. Yeah. I used to like the Domino's wings more, but I didn't like Domino's pizza that much. So I was like, I like Pizza Hut pizza, so I might as well start trying the wings and seeing if I like them. The bone-in wings are great at Pizza Hut. They're not as Domino's. It's like there's sauce everywhere, right? Like that. Those are saucy boys. I like Pizza Hut because they're crispier. They truly have like that fried crispiness to them.
That's true.
And I'm a wings dude. I'm a slut for wings.
We all are. I think we all are.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we watch football, don't we?
If you watch football, you have to like wings.
Yeah.
It's like a rule.
Hard to not. I mean, but real quick, Sodexo at the college does wings at once a week.
I know. I always.
They're awesome.
They're like, try to limit yourself to 10, and I'm like, but I don't have to, right? They're like, well, try to, and I'm like, don't say try to limit myself to anything if it's on a rule. Say
there is no try. There's only do.
You can say maximum of 10 wings, and I will take 10 wings. But if you say limit yourself to 10. Try to limit yourself to 10. I'm going to try to like make it look like there's 10 in the clear plastic container they give you, but there's like 15. And I just like maybe take some smaller ones and tuck them under some of the bigger ones. And there's ways around it. By the way, there's not a lot of options at the college for food, but they are all awesome. Like I actually like a lot of the college food.
I do too. I like those sandwiches every day. Man, those sandwiches are so good.
I mean, I was gonna say I either ate a sandwich or a burrito like 4 days a week. So
good, yeah.
Talk about those burritos. Tell me.
Oh, they're good. They are.
They're
good.
like 2 pounds of food. Seriously.
There's a lot.
The dude who makes them, it's the same dude every day, and if he's not there, everyone gets upset because no one fills his shoes very well.
But or fills the burrito.
Oh, and do you know like the Winco size like tortillas they sell? They're just like massive. They're like they look like a large pizza flattened out. Yeah. He uses those, and he fills it to the point where he almost can't wrap it every time.
Jesus.
And at one point in time, I think it was like my second year of college, I ate them every single day because I had class Monday through Thursday for the entire semester, and I never ate anything else for lunch. And I never got sick of them either. But I'm that way with food in general.
I don't get sick of stuff, man. I've been eating turkey wraps for lunch for 3 months now. 2 months?
Oh, yeah.
Like 2 months.
I can do you make them yourself, or do you buy like a pre-made?
No, I make them, but there is this burrito place in a gas station where I work, dude. It's called Romulos. Oh,
can we get them on the ticker down below?
No, Romulos. Actually.
down, yeah.
Brought to you by Romulos.
Romulos.
Okay, so let's get back on sports.
So I had a point.
You have some stuff.
Well, we could go a litany of directions here.
Really.
We can move off the NASCAR thing, I guess. The other thing, though, is in the NBA, where we're only a couple weeks away from training camp starting again. It starts at the beginning of July, and then the real stuff starts at the end of July. We're starting to find out a couple of things. One, some people don't want to go back for that long because of what's going on in the country. Obviously, It's not just coronavirus, but social justice issues. But then also, it's just like that's 3 months of not being. If you win the championship, that's like 90 days of being isolated from your family and your friends. Yeah. So there's a lot of reasons to it. So it's like a week ago on the show, we're talking about how exciting all this stuff's starting, and now it's kind of like, well,
is it?
Maybe is it? Yeah. But two things I
was just saying, one of the things I had thought about was how late it is going into the year too, and then if they're going to start basketball season in December again, then it's like that's 2 months off.
Jesse, I know there's non-dairy ice cream. You're talking to a dude who eats the cookies and peanut butter almond ice cream Ben & Jerry's like 5 days a week. I have a huge problem. It's 1,000 calories a pint, and I eat it after eating 1,000-calorie dinner all the time. It's delicious. Also, Ben & Jerry's, love that company. They're doing great stuff right now.
They have the Space Force ice cream.
You can't stop what they're doing. And you know what? I bet even people that are completely against Ben & Jerry's using their platform for what they are like, well, it's still fucking delicious. It's the most delicious overpriced ice cream that's ever existed.
If some vets don't come back to play, like some don't, do you think they get traded for not being loyal?
No.
Nah.
So I actually have a feeling on who I think some of these people are.
Yeah.
Not trying to these people, the enemy, the people who don't want to come back and play basketball for me.
No. Kyrie Irving's one of them.
Kyrie's made it obvious. If I had to guess, being a Spurs fan, I think DeMar DeRozan's one of the other ones. I wouldn't be surprised if Carmelo Anthony on the Blazers is one of them. I think they're all.
They don't want to come back because they're focusing on the social justice that needs to be put into place in this nation. Or what?
What's up? I was reading.
Is that why they don't want to come back because they're focusing on what's going on with?
I think it's a little bit of everything. I think it's like I said. I think some people care about like the social justice stuff. Some people care about the coronavirus, and then some people just don't want to be away from their families for that long. So I think it's a mix. I think like DeMar DeRozan from the Spurs. I bet it's more of he's a veteran. He's also on a contract year where he can re-sign or go somewhere else. So I think there's a lot of stuff that could play into that.
Guys like Carmelo Anthony who are playing on the Portland Trailblazers, but his entire family's in New York still. Right. Doesn't want to be separated from his family for, like you said, 90 days.
So, and then there's like Kyrie Irving and people like that who it's definitely like the social justice stuff. and it's just they have other stuff that they're focusing on. So I think it's a little bit of everything. I think either way that the season's going to happen regardless. I think we just might not see some of the stars, and the only consequence is that they're not going to make any money. So that's where the NBA's stance is right now. If you don't want to come back, they're not going to pay you, but the teams have to fully support that decision.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, that's 100% understandable.
And if you're Kyrie, Nets aren't going anywhere this year anyways, so no one's really going to notice. But say Kyrie and Kevin Durant were fully healthy, and they chose not to come back, and they had a chance to win a championship, which if they were both healthy, they'd be in talks in the East. Sure. Then yes, people would probably be pretty pissed. Like realistically, regardless, I think people would be pissed. But I don't know. Let's see.
Brian's got a great question.
Yeah, I wanted to see that. Can you go ahead and read that, Derek? Because, I don't know how.
When sports all start up, is it going to be basically all politics? Are all the shows going to be talking Colin and everyone who supports his beliefs? Are we going to be able to watch sports and enjoy just good play? So I say yes. Yes to all of it. I think ultimately all the radio hosts are going to be talking the politics behind it. The players are going to be talking the politics behind it. But when it comes down to it, though, if a game's on TV, we're going to watch those games.
And yeah. I don't think it will be mentioned. So,
over the sportscast? No,
and I don't think there will be. No. I think where we may get some of it is
after a game.
Obviously during the national anthem.
During the national anthem.
Well, they don't show it anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe they do this year. That's the thing is, like, at the end of the day, all of the stations are going to care about ratings. Yep. And there's going to be people who don't even watch football who turn the game on to see what people are doing during the national anthem. Well, but then to push back on that, there's other people like the guy that we watched in the beginning of the episode today, who he's pretending to be, who will turn off a football game because they're showing the national anthem and everyone's kneeling. So
I have a family member who during when Kaepernick was playing, during that whole thing, he would say. First off, he was not a huge sports fan in general, or doesn't really watch football, would post on Facebook, "No more football in this house." Which I was like, you don't watch football. So yeah. Weird stance.
Cool.
And then would find out that he would watch the games to see whether or not they were kneeling. Would watch the first part of the game.
So I think it's going to be all about what you decide to watch. Once football season starts, I know Brian is also like a fantasy football guy like I am. So like if you're watching Fantasy Football Focus, right? Or the Fantasy Football Show, any of those, they're probably not going to talk about it. And those are great shows to watch just because they help you pick your teams. So like if you want to watch something like that, you're going to be safe. If you want to just watch the game, you're going to be safe. But if you want to watch Football Night in America on NBC before Sunday Night Football starts, they're probably going to talk about it almost the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think yes. The answer is yes. I mean, it's going to be both. I think you're right. I mean, I don't think the sportscasters during the game, the play-by-play is not going to be talking about the issues going on. They're going to be talking about the game. Jim Nantz is still going to be talking about the game. You know, all those sportscasters are still going to be very excited about the product that they have. They still want us to see teams win. They still want competition.
And I also think football is far enough away. I think football is far enough away to where maybe it'll be less of it by then, right? Like, that's still a few months down the road. We still don't even know if there's going to be fans in the crowd. I thought that would be a major thing they would talk about probably once the game started, is just like the coronavirus and what's going on with who's allowed into the game or not. But I think people are going to be so excited when football is back that we're also just going to have a bunch of people simply talking about the fact that football is back. So it could go either way. But yeah, I think a lot of the talk shows, it's going to take them a while to gear up to only talking about the games that are happening.
Yeah.
We'll go back to that. I'm sure we'll go back to
that. Oh, we will.
Yeah.
This is what's going on right now. I mean, we'll talk about the actual sports coming back. I mean, If we're not talking about that, we'll still be talking about Dragon Ball Z and what kind of wings we like.
Yeah, and
At the very least.
Sean will be telling us about the gin he's pounding.
Oh, it's gone.
What do you think, Sean? What do you think is going to be?
So I was kind of being quiet because I hope that there's more conversations about it. I know during the football game, yeah, they're not going to talk about it, but
That's a good question, Brandon. We'll get to that.
I hope there's players kneeling. I hope they show the anthem. I hope everyone sees it, and I hope the people that don't like seeing it don't watch football. I don't want you to watch football. You're ignorant, and I don't care if you watch football. You know what I mean? What percentage of the NFL's rosters are the kind of people that have dealt with this problem for years? Right. This isn't about you. It's not about your white, ignorant bullshit. It's not fair to them, and they're people, and they have feelings, and they grew up with this problem. So it's not fair for you to be like, don't kneel, don't do this, don't do that. Anyways, that's it. That's all I got.
That's fine.
No, I just don't think that's going to happen when the game's going on.
I mean, yeah, I don't think they're going to talk about it when the game's playing. They probably won't even talk about it when the anthem's going. And I don't think they're going to show the anthem the same way they haven't the last 2 or 3 years. Yeah. So I don't think it's something I don't think it's something people need to worry about. And
I also wonder if eventually they just won't have the anthem at the games anymore either, because it's you don't need it necessarily. It really isn't. Sports really aren't a patriotic thing. It's just an event. It's an event.
It is. It's not throwing a football up and down a field is not about.
Yeah, it doesn't.
What
you don't
the
necessarily.
Army, yeah,
you don't necessarily need it. It's for me a lot of times it's kind of fodder. It's just kind of. It's kind of you're kind of placating a population, but a lot of times it was placating like people who are really into the troops, and I think like post 9/11 when the whole country was like uniting and they're united we stand and all that stuff. I think it really got heavy into having the national anthem, and then I don't know that it's necessary. I mean I could be wrong, and that's just my opinion. I mean I don't think it's necessary to even have the national anthem during sporting
and maybe
events.
They'll leave it out. Like I said, I think they're going to do some serious, like the NFL always does. They're going to do some cost analysis to figure out how much money they'll lose if they show it, or how much money they'll lose if they don't show it, right? And that seems to be the problem right now, is that, and we talked about it before the show started, is just a lot of decisions right now are being made not on like true personal beliefs, but on the money that's involved with either stating your personal belief or not stating it.
Well, which is a problem with our country.
Right, in general. It's happening in every sport. It's not even just happening by the teams or the organizations. It's happening by individual people, right? Like they're making that decision, like, how much is this going to benefit my personal brand if I say something?
And that's what makes me sad is thank you, James.
Brandon had a good question. It's not quite related. University of Houston players tested positive for COVID-19. Does that put fear in the other schools to bring athletes back? The fear's there anyways. The fear's already there. I mean, higher ed in general is still super shaky about what they're going to do for the fall. I mean, just in general. They have plans. They're trying to have plans. They're trying to have contingencies. If I could tell you as somebody who knows a little bit about higher education, it's super shaky ground for sports. It's even super shaky ground on whether or not students are going to be back on campus at all, or whether or not it's going to be social distance classes anyways. A lot of schools are they're going social distance classes until Thanksgiving break, and then after Thanksgiving break they're going remote until like 2 weeks into the spring basically. So I mean it's going to be interesting. I think dollars are going to speak, and not having college football, it's a lot of money. That's a lot of money to not have. And schools already just hemorrhaged money from not having March Madness.
Right. I watched an interview with, who is it? Notre Dame head football coach Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
he would not budge on the idea of like any of this scaring him. He's like, nope, it's completely safe environment. Every player is going to get tested before they go on the field, which is like, it's like the MMA. Like UFC has showed, test everyone before, pull the people out of it if they fail.
Yes.
Cowboy. Yeah, agreed.
100%.
Fuck the Cowboys.
But no, I mean, the UFC's proven it works. Like, just test every single person before they go out on the field, and if they fail the test, don't let them go out on the field. Like, I don't think football, especially college football, is going to be delayed by this at all. Even if they decide to not bring anyone to school that semester, they're still going to play the games.
Yeah.
So
figure it out.
Money, it's money. Ooh, everything comes down to money.
That's so much money to not make for a school.
Yeah.
And a lot of those schools are private schools. A lot of those private schools don't receive a lot of their funding from, like state appropriated dollars. That's a little like background talk about schools, but schools like Notre Dame, they don't receive a ton of state funding. That's a private school.
It's booster money.
I mean, they make money from boosters. They make money from NCAA football and basketball. Right. So it's
well, the boosters aren't giving you money if you're not playing football.
Right. Oh, yeah. and then not having football also, that screws with recruiting in general too. Where that screws with that. Now you're screwing with people actually going to school.
Right.
I don't know. It's It'll be interesting to see. I think you're right. I think there will be football. I actually also think there will be a March Madness again. I think this will be one of the only times we ever don't see a March Madness.
Yeah, it was like that was a one-time type of thing.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even think about that. I wonder how many kids are coming out of high school this year and go, maybe I'll wait a year to go to college.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. That's never even crossed my mind, probably just because of my age. But
that's probably what most people should do anyways. But
100% agree. As someone who took many years off before finishing college, I would say one's not enough. And
and a full-time online schedule isn't for every student. It absolutely is not. If you 12 credits online, there's a common myth. There's actually a common myth that online school and online classes is easier and less time than going to school on campus. That is an absolute myth. It's an absolute lie. Work going into online classes is almost 2 times the amount of work than going on campus. It's nuts. Online classes are tough.
And here's why. Here's why, because they like to college, you don't get busy work, right? Like they're over that. That was high school bullshit. They don't give it to you. Online classes, they still give it to you because they want to know that you're actually paying attention. There's way more assigned reading. There are like go in and comment on something, make a post that it's like
you have to do discussion posts. If you are in an in-person class, if you go to the class, you typically get points for participation for just being in class. I mean, when they're going through their roster, and that's in the syllabus, it says there's participation grades. The teachers typically aren't waiting to see whether or not you're speaking about stuff in the class. They're just seeing if you're there. If you're online, they can measure how much you're participating by how much you're commenting and posting, and that's not for everyone. And it's a full-time schedule. So 12 credits is typically full-time. Students don't average 12 credits, though. Typically 15 to 18 credits is about what a student takes.
Yeah, for me, 20, my final semester.
Right. Could you imagine taking those 20 credits completely online?
No. I mean, I had to squeeze in, I think, one online class that last semester. The most I've ever done in a semester is 2.
Yeah, I've done 2 in one semester, and then I did my whole master's program. So I did a master's program with 2 classes per semester, and I felt like that was a lot.
Right.
A full-time schedule of that. So a full-time schedule would have been technically 4 classes online for 12 credits. Again, students don't typically take 12 credits, though. They take 15 to 18, because if you want to graduate within 4 years, you can't just go 12 credits.
Yeah. Anyways.
If you average 12 credits a semester, you're going 5 years.
Right. Yeah.
So that's big.
So if
big
you want to graduate in 4, yeah.
So anyways, every person we probably don't have anyone of that age that's listening to this show, but
No.
I strongly encourage you to just not go to college.
I mean, I'm 30. I'm 33, and I still haven't gone.
Sean, I strongly encourage you to take at least another 5 off.
Oh yeah, I'm not. I mean, at this point, I'm not going.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's other ways to
That's
get
fine.
shit done. Yeah.
I mean, there's a Love's gas station over here. I can go make some money.
Oh yeah, there you go. Cool. Good for
There's
you,
that
Tom.
burrito place also that you
Yeah.
told me
There's that
about.
burrito place.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you go make the money at one place and you go spend it on the burrito.
Yeah. Exactly. Like I do now.
Like I already
I'd probably make more money at the Love's gas station.
Oh, probably good. I like that.
You guys know what I'm saying, right? Truckers.
Oh yeah, we get it.
Okay.
Yeah, you were talking about being a lot lizard.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys
It's been
take
a
me in
dream
the
of
back
mine.
and split me open like
Been
a
a-
coconut?
Been a dream of mine since I was 12.
So I mean, overall, I mean, I'm not thrilled about having a ton of political talk for when sports come back, but I'm still excited for sports to come back. I do think ultimately basketball will be back, though, even if people are saying let's not go, let's not play. I think ultimately it's still going to come back. It's going to be on the same timeline that they've been saying it's going to happen.
The only thing I would say is for the players that don't want to come back because of what's going on, I think coming back gives you the perfect opportunity to speak, right? Like if you're at home, people are going to be less likely to interview you on what your opinions are than if you're winning games. And if you're winning games, you can take that interview wherever you want. And I think we're going to see that a lot. I think we're going to see LeBron James winning games, them ask him about the game-winning shot, and him completely changing the subject to whatever the hell he wants to talk about. And I think that is where they need to be. What was that?
I spell it out, brother.
Just in case.
Brother.
Let's spell it out.
Yeah, jerking off truck drivers.
Yes.
Tuggarooskies
I'll even do this before I do
for
it.
money is what we're talking about.
James Walters, the anthem is for patriotism and to honor the people who have died. I know, I understand what the anthem is for during those games. I still just don't know that it needs to be there. I mean, I think the people who are going to honor those people are still going to honor those people regardless of whether or not it doesn't have anything to do with sports. I mean, it really doesn't.
That's the thing that's what I don't know why people can't disconnect those things.
Yeah.
Someone
It's
kneeling
never-
during the anthem isn't about who fought for the flag, who fought for the country, who did that. It's not the same thing.
Well, and go to any sporting event. It's for the people that are there to that's just how the games start. It's not for the people watching on TV anyways.
No, it isn't.
And that's the big thing.
You're probably 5 beers deep. You know.
Well, I said a joke last year, actually. I said, or not last year, a couple of years ago, I said, how many people are sitting at home talking about them disrespecting the flag, and they're sitting there with saucy buffalo wingers, buffalo wing fingers, and they're 4 beers in, and they're like sitting on their couch. Like, do you stand up when the national anthem is playing at a sporting event? Do you stand up at home and find a flag and salute it or put your hand over your heart? No, you're sitting on your couch.
Yeah, not a single.
Man, they're disrespecting our flag. You got your buffalo wing sauce over the front of your shirt.
Yeah, and you're fucking tweeting.
And you're tweeting.
And you're not in your like TV volumes probably at like a minimum, and then as soon as the actual game starts, you turn the fucking volume back up.
Probably checking your fantasy.
You're busy you're scrambling to fucking get an injured player off of your fantasy team starting lineup. Right. And you got a last second tinker your kicker, and you're bitching about what's going on the TV that you're not watching.
Interesting. You just got done shouting at your kids for playing in front of the TV, and
Sean's still tugging off a freaking truck driver. And the
I gotta make it to kickoff.
But you know what? I absolutely guarantee that truck driver's saluting the flag.
You know, I usually try to make sure the truck driver has like Wi-Fi, the game on.
Well, that's smart. Yeah.
Will not tug off a truck driver that does not have Sunday ticket.
Yep.
And that is a fact.
Yep.
That's the way it is, and that's the way it's always been.
Yep. Yeah, it's at the very top of the Craigslist post, and I can't believe you didn't read it. Yeah, so
absolutely.
The only literally that truck driver is the only person that's going to be at full mass during that time
besides
period.
myself, because football's starting.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually, you actually can only do it during football because it's the only thing that gets you motivated enough.
I'm probably more erect than he is during football.
I mean, how many people are sitting at home and tweeting about how bad somebody's singing the national anthem, actually?
Yeah. Which, if you really care that much about the anthem,
Right.
then if she sings it bad, who cares? It's not about how she sounds; it's the word.
Yeah, you know how many. By the way, I don't care who this offends. If you're at a hockey game and they bring a kids choir that are all terrible at singing out onto the ice and they do a terrible job, I'm going to laugh. And that's just a stone cold fact. It's hilarious to me. I don't know.
Your kids aren't gifted, okay?
But by the way, people are still respectful and they're like, you know what I mean? Like, they don't care that it's bad. But then all of a sudden, Fergie goes out during a basketball game and is borderline probably wasted and just does whatever she did.
Butchers it.
In the defense of everyone, that was borderline treasonous.
Yeah. You're allowed to complain about Fergie, is what I'm saying.
You're not allowed to complain about the kids' choir.
No, exactly. But
those kids are doing their best.
Yeah, and Fergie was not. She did not care. She was trying to make Draymond Green laugh, and we all know it.
And it worked, you know. And if that was her mission accomplished.
Well, that guy's a grumpy old bastard.
Yeah, I think it's actually just a well-known game played in the entertainment industry. It's like try to get Draymond to laugh.
I agree. It's always been that way.
It's definitely a game in like the journalistic standpoint on like interviewing Greg Popovich. Like interview Greg Popovich without him making fun of you. Like if you can do that, that's like a win. And
get Belichick to say more than like 2 words.
And get Belichick to say more than 2 words. Those are definite.
Get to work, Brian. You're doing the Lord's work. He works at the Wooden Nickel, the unofficial bar of sports.
Can we cover the screen with it?
Yeah, we can. Absolutely.
We can
cover the screen.
We got that.
It's a Jets bar.
It's a Jets bar.
It's a Jets bar. Damn Jets.
If you don't like the Jets, they don't want your business.
Honestly, guys, are we gonna talk about the official, unofficial team for the season of football?
Yeah, we do get a. Let me get my.
I mean, if we're riding the coattails of the Wood Nickel, why don't we just pick the Jets? And
because we were the Jets last year.
We've picked them. We jinxed them already.
Who cares?
We are for sure.
For sure.
Just
100%.
Just to piss off everyone's fathers.
Okay.
We're for sure going to take whatever team Kaepernick signs to.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, that's fine.
So if he doesn't sign to a team, then I don't know. We'll take like the fucking Chargers.
Is that the rumor? Is that someone will sign him?
No. So I guess we could talk about it because it does bring up some good.
Hey, I like that. Here, hold on real quick. Yeah, that's cool. Woot, woot. When I'm working and you mention this show, you get 50% off your first beer. You heard that here first, folks.
Ooh.
Go to the Wooden Nickel. Go
wow.
check it out.
Okay. Well,
what a good deal. I think I might need to go.
I think I'm just going to hang out there when I come to Lewiston the whole time.
Yeah. Does that count for Twisted Tea half and halves cracked open to room temp?
Because that's all I want.
If I'm showing up at the Wooden Nickel and there's not a Twisted Tea half and half cracked open at room temp ready to go for me, I ain't going there.
I'll go somewhere else.
By the way, I will be there on the 3rd of July, Friday, the 3rd of July. I will be at the Wooden Nickel.
What time are we going there?
I don't know. We'll probably just have whenever Brian says the Twisted Tea half and half is room temp.
Then we'll head over.
If it's still cold, I swear to God, I won't be there.
Everyone knows that Brian gets on Facebook and he says, "Hey everyone, the Twisted Tea half and half is cracked open and at room temp right now. Come on down to the Nickel and check it out." He says, "If you shotgun a Twisted Tea in front of me, I will buy it."
I will shotgun a Twisted Tea half and half. Not only okay, I was making that joke to my roommate's boyfriend the other day about because almost every weekend, I'm like, hey, let's get a couple Twisted Tea half and halves cracked open to room temp up in this bitch. And he leaves and he comes back to the house and he hands me a 25-ounce Twisted Tea half and half. That is for sure not room temp. For sure ice cold Twisted Tea half and half. And I just got down, cracked it open, and tried to pound the entire thing. I have never felt fucking worse.
All right, so that's the first thing we're doing when we see each other.
Love it.
If it's just a 12-ounce Twisted Tea half and half,
Oh,
I will.
No. 24, baby.
24.
I don't think.
I'll make sure. I'll make
ounces.
sure it's room. I'll make.
I
sure
don't think. B Nye, as I'm calling him now, has 24-ounce Twisted Tea half and halves.
Well, I'll make them.
You need to save me Brian. You need to save me a double X shirt though. I am going to go get a shirt.
Yeah, and I need a large.
Yeah.
And I'll wear it every show.
And I need a large.
Save some shirts for us.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay. So, oh man, I just lost.
Zach was gonna say something. About
Yes.
Go ahead.
So, Pete Carroll had an interview this week where he said that somebody else's team reached out to him about signing Colin Kaepernick, but he wouldn't say which team. Obviously, that leaves some speculation, but it sounds like people are at least dipping their toe in the Kaepernick pool. We talked about it before the show started today. It's like, are you doing that because you think a 32-year-old Colin Kaepernick can contribute to your team? Or are you doing that because if you're a team like, I don't know, my team, the Atlanta Falcons, and are putting a lot of money into the community right now. They're doing a lot of PR stuff, voicing their opinions, all this stuff that I think has been really good for the Atlanta community. Or are you going to do it because you're a team like them who just, this is another statement, right? So like, or is it both? Or are you a team that genuinely needs Colin Kaepernick because you're a team like the Steelers who don't have a backup?
Oof,
and it would
please get him.
And you're also going to get the number one selling jersey in the NFL, because I promise you, wherever he goes, and even if he never throws the football one time, it'll be the number one selling jersey in the NFL this year.
Yeah,
and it'll also be the number one hot topic in the country because there will be plenty of people upset about it as well.
He had a number one selling jersey when he was the hot man on the seat too.
Well, exactly. We've been down this road before.
The man can win games. I don't care what you say.
If he goes to a so I listed it out today for the show. Top 15 quarterbacks in the NFL or not in the NFL. Top 15 most talented that can contribute to a team. Not just talking about pocket passing quarterbacks, but just like Lamar Jackson's changed the game. Other quarterbacks have changed the game. There's other things quarterbacks can do to help win. Josh Allen last year was a great example of it. Josh Allen's like ad-libbing helped the Bills win games. He wasn't the best quarterback in the league, but the dude's gritty and he made stuff happen. Colin Kaepernick was in my top 15 for, if he was in the league right now, most talented quarterbacks in the league. Period. Arm strength's amazing. Ad-libbing's amazing. Dude guaranteed can still run because he was never a quick twitch runner. He's a long stride, covers a lot of ground really fast type of runner, and he can also throw better outside of the pocket than almost anyone besides for Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers in the league. Carson Wentz probably also in that mix, but
also
he's top 15.
And depending on where he puts his training too, if he has a strong arm, if he can work on his accuracy, he could be. I mean, that it would only improve where he's at if he can improve the accuracy.
So here's the thing on that: he went to the Super Bowl, obviously. Next year had a really, really good year. Went to the NFC Championship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
had a great record. The next year, what did he play? 2 seasons after that? NFC
so
the
year that he got replaced
by Blaine Gabbert, which
he had.
I own a Blaine Gabbert jersey.
He had, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, it could be 14, it could be 16. But I believe by the midway point of the season when they stopped playing him, he had 16 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. He probably had the highest QBR in the league at the time, besides for, I think it was like Cam Newton, and they still benched him.
That had nothing to do, it had everything to do with, you know what it was. And so that's my point is, everyone's
never had a bad year, and people said he was bad that year. I I know other 49er fans that do not feel the same way as you, Sean, who were trying to say he was having a bad season. So when the entire rest of the team was garbage, the organization was tanking for draft picks, and the dude still had amazing numbers.
That was exactly what the point I was going to make was. He wasn't having a bad year. He was taking a stance. We had a goddamn real life Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force as a goddamn coach.
That's true.
You know, it was the saddest. I was asleep by 3 p.m. every football Sunday because I was shit-faced and sad.
So here's the thing. If you don't think that Colin Kaepernick would play better for Kyle Shanahan than Jimmy Garoppolo, then you don't watch football. Like, Kyle Shanahan's offense with Kaepernick is like Kyle Shanahan's offense with rookie RG3, but like 10 times better. Like, we saw what that combination can be when you have someone who plays that style with Kyle Shanahan.
And I like Garoppolo.
And I like Garoppolo too.
And the only argument,
the mobility of Kaepernick would just be insane.
My only criticism of Kaepernick from the very beginning was that I wish he wouldn't have replaced Alex Smith, because Alex Smith was having a great year when he got hurt.
That was insane. But
I didn't like that. But I also didn't like Dak replacing Tony Romo. And I mean, I think if you're going out for a certain reason and then you come back, we get a chance to play again.
Exactly.
So, but that's not a criticism of Kaepernick or even the 49ers organization. That's a criticism of the fans who demanded to have somebody come in and play, and the teams listened to the fans. I mean, that's what happened with Dak. That's what happened with Cap.
Which is, and even once Alex Smith came out of concussion protocol, I was like, why is he not playing?
Right.
It was crazy. But I was like, I wasn't mad because we were still winning games.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? But I was still like, what? And then the Super Bowl, whatever.
Yeah. He's been blacklisted because of what happened, but the truth is there's like 28 teams that could use his talent right now.
Bengals.
Yeah. And someone's going to. It's just we don't know for what reason. And I don't think it matters. I think whether they're doing it for PR reasons or if they're doing it because they genuinely think he can contribute, I don't think it matters. I think let's just get him on a team. The other person, I should also just mention this because when I actually really did like at least try to put together an accurate top 15 of what I truly believe. A guy I had in my top 15 that is also not on a team is Cam Newton, and I think that's just worth mentioning. Here's a guy who I don't like, by the way. I'd never have liked his playing style. I think the biggest knock on Cam or Colin Kaepernick is not arm strength, but accuracy. And I don't really like inaccurate quarterbacks on my team. But the dude helps get you places you need to be. It's a former MVP. He wins games. He creates touchdowns in other ways than just accurately passing the football. Yeah. And he's a top 15 quarterback, and he's not on a team right now.
I think that is crazy. I think that is crazy that Cam, even though Cam Newton's my favorite part of Cam Newton was Greg Olsen, but besides that, he won game.
Again, another quarterback that I would gladly take on the Steelers right now.
And it just shows you how deep the NFL is right now at quarterback. It's the deepest it's ever been at the position, hands down. And it's so young. The position's so youthful that we have like this really weird. We're in this really weird spot where everyone's either really young or really old. Like there's no one in between, and nobody's taking a chance on these guys in between. Kaepernick's 32, Cam's, I don't know, early 30s. And we've showed that quarterbacks now can play until their late 30s and even 40 now. But it's like no one wants to take a risk on that when there's so many young guys out there. It's like 30 is just a weird spot for these free agents to be at. So,
the Bears could use either of those guys.
Yeah, that's exactly like those two I love Foles, and I think those games that Foles wins are just super fun to watch when he's on. But when he's off, it's super depressing.
So it's all about coach for him, and the Bears are the style that he got from Philadelphia. It's the same coaching, it's the same offensive style system. He's going to thrive there. Foles will be the starter week 1. He will not struggle. The team will do well. They'll probably be one of the surprise teams of the year. So Kaepernick will not be there.
If Foles stays healthy.
If Foles stays healthy, and if they don't, they're not going to also sign one more quarterback after Trubisky.
Yeah.
So he will not go to Chicago.
But I don't think Trubisky's worth. I don't like him.
Yeah. I mean,
I think even the Lions could use one of those guys. I mean, Matt Stafford got hurt. I don't know how his health is coming back. The Lions could use one of those guys easily.
I'm just going to go ahead and say that you don't say that. Matt Stafford is a legend.
I love Matt Stafford, but he is a glass cannon.
Well, it's because he gets back injuries from carrying an entire franchise on his back.
Yeah.
He should not be there. He should be on a good team.
Well, that's just the Lions for you.
Yeah.
So, and also
they paid him a lot to hurt him.
And also, who is like the Lions had to show both of their backups last year because of injuries, and
I don't know who either of them were.
Yeah, and I had Kenny Galladay on fantasy with those backup QBs. Just, God,
oh man, that was so rough. So they did go out and sign. So David Blau, if you guys remember, ended up starting the Thanksgiving Day game, and he was absolute. I mean, they praised him for what he was able to do. But at the end of the day, the dude's a dog shit quarterback. They did go out and sign Chase Daniels, though, so they have a legit backup.
Yeah,
now.
they do. Yeah.
So Chase Daniels, he's like Chad Henne. He'll be in the league until he's 40 as a backup, just collecting checks.
Blau did fine on Thanksgiving because it was all Kenny Galladay that day.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of places, I guess, back to what Brandon's asking with either of these teams, there's a lot of places where if someone got injured, Cam or Cap would make sense, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think if someone gets hurt, if Big Ben gets hurt. I still feel like
the Steelers are the best fit for either one of those guys.
Right, because they truly do need a backup.
They need one back.
And they have a quarterback who's old and gets injured.
Right. And because of how young either one of those guys are.
Right.
You can be planning for the future. You get Cam Newton in there to, as I've said it before, let him learn a little bit from Ben. Cam's got to adjust his play style a little bit. And Ben used to run around. He wasn't super fast, but he used to run around, and now he can't do that as much anymore. He's had to change his play style, and he's been relatively successful for changing his play style. Yeah. So get somebody in there like Cam Newton who he can work with and maybe show that you don't have to be, and because they're basically the same size, they're big, strong quarterbacks, they have a good arm.
I don't think they have even close to similar arms, though, because I don't think Cam could ever have Ben's accuracy.
No.
Yeah, I think that's
that's the problem.
Though.
That's the problem, though, is that like you can't learn that at this point in Cam's career, right. And with everyone's worried that once his legs are gone and with the injuries and everything, they might already be that's a huge risk to take on a dude who is no longer a mobile quarterback.
Well.
Sure. Yeah.
Do you think he's not accurate at the long game, but do you think like the Belichick 10-20 yard?
No, I think that's actually where he's worse.
Is the mid game?
The dude has those really weird throwing mechanics where he almost just throws from his shoulder and it doesn't look right, and a lot of his passes sail because of his throwing motion.
Yeah.
And I've seen more 10-yard out routes sail from Cam Newton than any other quarterback I've ever watched.
I do think if you throw him on a team like the Steelers, though, with a strong offensive line, though, he can be mobile for a little while longer.
Yeah, if he has the O-line, if he got drafted to an O-line, then yeah.
But I think the Steelers making a move on really any really good backup makes sense, and it's always interesting to me that they never do. Like, the Steelers never make a move on a free agent backup quarterback anymore. They did for a while. That was their MO for the longest time when Ben was younger, is get a guy older than Ben, like a veteran older than Ben. Yeah. They had Charlie Batch for a decade.
Right.
But now they're like, let's get these young guys who could potentially replace Ben, but they just never seem to be good enough.
Well, hell, we even had, oh my God, what's his name? Used to be the quarterback for the Jaguars. Now he's an offensive coordinator, or he's a quarterback.
Byron Leftwich.
Byron Leftwich. He was a great backup.
Right, but that dude's been retired for a while.
Well, right.
But someone like that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like you
They
see
had-
all these
they had
other
him,
teams,
they had-
like the Chiefs have Chad Henne, Chase Daniels is on the Lions. You just don't see the Steelers anymore make a move on one of those veterans. Someone trying to give us advice on here?
Here, I'll help him out.
Hey, yeah, don't worry, we got you, bud. We tried Zoom for this, and it does not work well.
Zoom's real bad. Also, you can't do any of these cool overlays with Zoom.
Yeah, sorry, Zoom.
So you can't do this.
The unofficial official.
Yeah. Plus, the only way we can have all these comments on here where you guys are talking to us is by using StreamYard. So, yeah.
So, the Wooden Nickel, home of the official room temp twisted tea half and half. The only
original.
the only home of room temp twisted tea half and halves. If you'd like them cold, go somewhere else, please.
Yeah, no, seriously.
And if you're not a Jets fan, you are not welcome.
Yeah.
At that
That's
bar.
true. That's
Or
true.
at least
he's
a
open.
semi-Jets supporter.
Yeah. I think it's the three of us. None of us hate the Jets, and that's why we're able to go there.
Well, I pity them. Yeah.
I mean, what Matt Forte was on the Jets for a little bit, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I love Matt Forte. And I love Matt Forte. There you go.
We did.
I did. I
Yeah.
love Matt Forte, man. I drafted him for like 4 years straight.
Well, and then they had, they had one of my favorite. They have the dad quarterback. My favorite dad quarterback, Zach. Who's my favorite dad quarterback? He was
Josh McCown.
Josh McCown, baby.
Oh man, yeah.
I thought you were talking about the absolute legend, the big dick freak show that is Chad Pennington.
Oh yeah.
Never forget Chad Pennington.
You can't forget Chad Pennington.
I mean, people do all the time. It was Vinny Testaverde and then Chad Pennington when I was a kid, and I'll never forget it because just two of the biggest dongs in sports. Two of the worst shoulders in sports. Those guys had so many damn shoulder problems.
They did.
It was like, how are they able to throw a football more than 20 yards?
Oh, you like?
And I love them both.
Yeah, me too. Pennington had a short-lived. Well, I mean, it was a long career, but it should.
Yeah, because then he went to the Dolphins afterwards.
He did, yeah. He was he had a relatively okay career at the Dolphins too. Actually,
it was kind of short-lived there as well, just because.
Yeah.
The Dolphins went through that. I don't know. However long it's been since. However long it's been since Dan Marino. That's how long they've struggled to find a quarterback.
Boy, yeah.
And I still don't think they have. Spoiler alert. I don't think Tua is the guy.
No.
What? Tua?
I call it a hot take, but I don't think he's that good.
Yeah, I think his little hippie hip's gonna give out.
Oof.
So Chad Pennington must have had a short career because he's still only 43 years old.
Yeah. Wow.
I had to look it up. I was curious.
Chad Pennington, the ancient quarterback, is only a year older than Tom Brady.
Exactly.
Well, Tom Brady.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Is there more pressure? I ask every week. Is there more pressure on Tom Brady with the Buccaneers, or is there more pressure on Belichick and the Patriots?
I think.
Or is it equal?
And I've thought about this a lot. I think there's just more pressure on Bill because I think Tom has an amazing team. Tom has two of the best receivers and tight ends.
And probably one of the greatest coaches, too. I mean,
Yeah.
Bruce Arians is an amazing coach.
I mean, the man's been to a Super Bowl. I mean, the Cardinals were a contender for years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think given what team has what talent, Bill has more of a thing to dig out of. And that's the thing, though, is how different is the Patriots defense coming this season? How many players did they lose, Zach? I know you know.
The Patriots?
Yeah, how different is that defense now? Did they lose a lot of people?
I think they lost.
Try 4 listeners, asshole.
Yeah, we're not afraid to show it. No, so the Patriots have not. I mean, they obviously still have Gilmore and a lot of like the talented, like Pro Bowl people that they had on their defense last year. But I think the speculation is that this year, if the season starts off kind of rocky, we could see them actually do a very Patriot thing and trade away their superstars on defense. Yeah. So although they're still there, who knows for how much longer? It really depends how they start the year. I don't think there's that much pressure on the Patriots. I really don't. I think that Tom's going to put a lot of pressure on himself because he's only got a year or two left. So I think just internally the pressure's on him. Not only that, but the Buccaneers defense was, by the end of last year, incredible. So he's got no excuse. He's got a great defense. He's got all the offensive talent he could ask for, besides for he doesn't have a premier running back. But I think there's way more pressure on Tom. Like, we understand if the Patriots do bad this year, it's because they're choosing to do bad this year.
Yeah. Okay.
I think. I don't think anyone would blame them. That being said, I actually don't think the Patriots are going to do bad.
I don't think so either.
I think if they did, it would be intentional. Like, if they had a bad year, it's because they're trying to get Trevor Lawrence or somebody. But I think that they have a great chance. Like, at the end of the day, they're still in a division with a bunch of unproven teams. And who knows, the Jets could be better. Dolphins could be better. Bills could be as good as last year, but that's so much unknown.
Okay, yeah.
See, I just don't think the Pats have any pressure. I think however well they do, it'll be fine. There's not going to be right. Okay, here's a good way to put it. If the Pats are 4-12, they are not still talking about it on SportsCenter. Yeah. If the Buccaneers are 4-12, they are talking. That is one of the first things they are talking about.
Yeah.
Every time the Bucs lose, there will be a story about it, and every time the Patriots lose, I doubt it.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
So look at it from that standpoint.
And the Patriots are still with the Dolphins, Jets, and Bills. The Bills will be their biggest competition throughout the season.
Yeah.
But the Dolphins and Jets are still not going to be. They're not.
I think the Bills take the division, to be honest.
So exactly. So here's another way to look at it. What's a bigger story? Look at division teams. What's a bigger story? The Jets or the Dolphins or the Bills beating the Patriots or the Saints beating the Buccaneers? Guaranteed it's the Saints beating the Buccaneers. Like Breeze beating Brady is a bigger story than Jarrett Stidham losing to
Jared Allen
or Ryan Fitzpatrick
or what's his name? Mono guy. The guy who has mono had mono.
Matt Castle, Jesse Knight.
Can't remember his name.
Yeah, we've already seen it. We've already seen Matt Castle go 11-5
right
in a season for the Patriots. Like, it's not a story.
That's why I think that. That's why I've thought that Tom won't do as good on the Bucs as Tom's. So that's the other thing too. I just said the Patriots have the Jets, the Dolphins, the Bills, the Buccaneers. Even the Panthers will put up a fight against the Buccaneers.
They got a good young defense.
No. Right. I mean, the Panthers are going to be the worst team worst team there for sure. But they have the Saints and they have the Falcons. And I think the Falcons are going to win that. I think the Falcons are going to top that division.
Oh, I think the Rams gave up on Todd Gurley probably a year too soon. Because I think he's going to be a touchdown machine for us, and it's not just going to be try to find Julio Jones in the red zone anymore.
Do you think it's fantasy worthy trying to get Todd Gurley early?
Not early.
Well, what? Fourth, fifth?
I mean, are you saying like a top 6 pick in the first round?
If you're in a 12-man league, when do you think you should take Todd Gurley in fantasy?
He's an RB2 now.
Yeah.
I don't think he's an RB1 anymore. As far as preseason potential, I'm not saying by the end of the year he won't be in your RB1 slot.
Who's your guys' other running back?
Well, Freeman's gone. Ito Smith's going to be his backup for sure.
But Ito was he doing that good?
No, but I think he'll be fine.
Okay.
I think we're going to play 4 running backs this year.
Okay.
So that's going to be the problem. But if you're playing a standard non-PPR league and you don't take Todd Gurley in and he's available as an RB2, you're kind of stupid. Because
But how early though would you say?
Well, whenever you feel like getting your second RB2, getting your RB2.
Dude, I go running back every year.
I don't. Not in I'm in 2 PPR or 3 PPR
so
leagues.
I'm only in 1 PPR league, so that's different. But in my other 2 leagues, which are regular, I go running back, maybe running back.
So let's say you could get Todd Gurley in the 3rd round as your RB2, and you also were able to get like a top couple guy, like say you had Christian McCaffrey and Todd Gurley as your 2 running backs, because like that's a very real possibility this year for the first time since both of them have been in the league. You're probably pretty damn set. I don't think Todd Gurley is going to get hurt again. I mean, that's impossible to speculate, but I don't think even last year with substantially less carries, the dude still finds the end zone. Same with Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon on the Broncos, the dude finds the end zone, period. That's just what they do. Like, they might have way less yards, but if you're at a standard league and you truly care about touchdowns, take a risk on either of those guys.
Well, that's the thing, too, now. The running backs on the Broncos.
I think the Broncos will be a
what's his name? They didn't get rid of what's his name, right?
Lindsey?
Yeah, Philip.
Nope,
Philip Lindsay?
No, and I still think that they might even still have Royce Freeman as their 3rd now, which is pretty insane.
That's 3 really good running backs.
Yeah, and then obviously they loaded up on wide receiver in the draft. They have Noah Fant, who's as far as young tight ends go, he's top 5.
And they look fairly solid at quarterback finally.
And Drew Lock's just got a monster dong, man. Yeah. It's huge. Yeah. And so, I mean, the arm's huge.
He came out swinging, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing, Cat? Sorry.
Is this James' character trying to start a internet war with us?
Let's go. What's he saying?
He really wants us to use Zoom, which is used by businesses to do meetings. And I'm telling you, buddy, Zoom, you can only stream to one platform, so you can do Facebook or YouTube. We're streaming to 5 different things right now.
Yeah.
We're able to have the interfaces. We're able to have you commenting on this, where we can talk to you on this. I'm not answering you on YouTube. I'm answering you on StreamYard right now. So I don't get what you're talking about. So just stop it, okay?
Where can I? Oh, live comments, dude! I didn't even know there was a live comment.
Go back and look. Go back and look at a few. What was it? 10 shows ago, we were using Zoom. They look like trash. They look bad. It's not meant for podcasting, bud. Okay, so you don't.
I think you've already spent too much time acknowledging this James character.
Okay, go start a podcast.
This guy has the same last name as me. I must battle him, even though he agreed with me.
Right.
Yeah, it's too late.
I respect your opinion, James Walters.
Oh, it's my grandpa.
Is it your grandpa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. James is also your Papa Pat.
Yeah, I read that earlier.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
Hi, Grandpa.
So it's not really James. It's Pat.
Yeah. I think
Also James, I applaud you for being on the internet and using it right now and talking to us. So
yeah,
props.
Yeah,
now go on some forum and all right.
Yeah,
now go on some forum and tell some whippersnappers to quit listening to rap music or whatever. He's very. Yeah. I like that he's listening and chiming into the show though. I applaud him. He's still a friendly fella.
Yeah, he seems pretty. He seems pretty woke.
Yeah, he's really involved.
He's saying hi. I like him. And I welcome a fresh debate about what device we should be using for a podcast.
Well, you want us?
I don't. Yeah,
you won us over. So next week we'll be back on Zoom.
Yeah, we'll be back on Zoom next week, everyone.
And not only that, but I'm on Zoom fucking 5 days a week for work. I
use it for work. I use it for work too. I guess that's the other thing too. I use it for work, and I'm not a fan. It's just not.
Yeah.
And also, we've tried it. It's just not. It's not there. It ain't it, Chief.
Well, we were gonna make a stand to stay with it, but it didn't.
We
work.
were actually. I was butting heads with Ward from the network about using StreamYard, and I was set on using Zoom, and then we had one technical issue with Zoom, and I gave up. I gave up.
In the same day.
In the same day, I gave up because Zoom was not doing it for us. It was not working. All right, man. Let's watch that. I want to watch that video one more time.
Absolutely.
Okay. For those of you who are watches this late or chimes in late or something, this video we played at the top of the show, and we're gonna play it for you again because it is really hilarious. Oh boy, I love it. Here we go.
So I just seen on Fox News that NASCAR's not gonna let
You gotta
their
show the
fans
screen,
fly
dog.
the Confederate
Oh,
flag at
Jesus,
their
God.
races no.
That wouldn't have happened if I was using Zoom.
So I didn't know that there was this live comment tab over here, and now I'm pissed that I didn't know.
See, now you know. Do you know where that live comment isn't? You know where that live comment tab isn't, though?
Zoom.
On Zoom.
It's just crazy because when you're on Zoom and you look for it, you just can't find it because it doesn't exist.
Yeah. Even though I tried.
Because it's not there.
All right,
Hey, guess what? When I'm showing clients how to use software, it's a great tool.
Yeah.
It's right
Also-
up there with Microsoft Teams.
Also, Teams is better than Zoom. Also,
Well, and then Zoom got sued, right?
they did.
Well, their privacy was not up to par. Their security was not at a level that they claimed it was. So,
All right, here we go.
just one more reason to use Zoom.
Yeah. Here we go.
So I just seen on Fox News that NASCAR's not gonna let their fans fly the Confederate flag at their races no more, and that pisses me off. That flag is history. You need to leave it alone. It's heritage, not hate. It just so happens that my heritage is hate, and I'm like Linus from Charlie Brown, and that treason rag is my security blanket, and I don't feel safe if I can't have it. And how is it a symbol of hate in the first place? Just because it was a flag of a group of people who went to war to fight for their right to keep another group of people as property and treat them as subhuman? I don't think so. You're just giving into PC culture, NASCAR. Shame on you. I can't watch no more football. They're taking the Confederate monuments out of the park by my house that I just learned we had and all of a sudden care deeply about. And then there's you, NASCAR. You traitors, you Benedict Arnold.
That's my.
You need to leave politics out of it and stop making me question my morals. Unless it's Donald J. Trump driving around the track at the Daytona 500 earlier this year, you need to leave politics out of it. All of you, I wish all these bands would just shut up about politics and play their songs about politics. Stop making me think about stuff. So today, I'm gonna raise my emotional support beer to you, NASCAR, cause I'm done. And you're gonna need this once all us fans boycott you. I'm done. And to all my fellow ex-NASCAR fans, I'm sorry for your loss. And I'll see you at the Brickyard 400 in July. And as always, fuck the NFL and go Coats.
And that's it.
God damn it, that's funny.
That's a good show.
Oh man, I love it.
Well,
Hey, I love
Good
you guys.
stuff.
Love all the listeners
Oh,
too.
I love you. I love listeners as well.
If you're someone who has been vocalizing yourself on social media, continue to do so. I've been seeing a lot of
Please.
really positive, good conversation being had and things that are being
Love the
shared.
participation.
I like when people share stuff. I definitely read what you share and I try to learn from it. And I think that everyone else should do the same. So
I also agree with that. Make sure you find us all on Twitter at Derek on TSPN, at Quack Swan, at Home Run Jack 1987. Make sure you check out Home Run Jack's show on Twitch TV later today, where he will be. Is that today? Are you doing it today?
yeah, I am doing it today. Got 2 beers.
What are you sampling today, good sir?
So it's a sour and a lager. I don't remember the exact names. It's a lager from the East Coast, and the sour. It's like a collab. 2 breweries collab to make a sour. So,
I love it.
And where can they find this at?
just Home Run Jack at Twitch. Twitch/Home Run Jack. I don't know how it goes.
Hold on.
Today's show was brought to you by.
Is it just Home Run Jack?
Yep, just Home Run Jack on the Twitch.
Hold on.
And then,
I just made this, and
it's also Home Run Jack on Facebook, Home Run Jack on YouTube. Yeah, I think that's exactly it right there.
All right. So make sure you check them out on Twitch. Also, the show is brought to you in part because we love it. The Wooden Nickel up in Lewiston, Idaho, the official unofficial bar of sports program. Actually, earlier on the show, Brian Nygaard, who is one of the owners of the bar, said that if you show up to the Wooden Nickel and you tell them that you heard about the Wooden Nickel from this show, he said your first beer will be 50% off. Huh? That's a deal.
It's a good
Yeah,
deal.
Now we're saving you money.
I would, if I could make a recommendation on the a 2020.
Thank you, James
2020 room temp. It's really Papa Pat. 2020
Papa Pat.
room temperature half and half twisted tea. Great year. It's fantastic room temp. That should be your first drink. And if you shotgun it, Nygaard will give it to you for free. This show was brought to you by Twisted Tea Half and Half, the Wooden Nickel,
Room temp.
Twitch.tv/Home Run Jack, and Papa Pat.
And Papa Pat, who I think might work for Zoom. I'm not positive.
I'm pretty sure he's
Zoom too.
I'm pretty sure he's a Zoom rep.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's your actual Papa Pat. I think he was. He's tied to a chair somewhere while Zoom rep is just sitting there, not even using his alias, but using James Walter's alias through your grandpa, which is an even weirder flex.
It is.
Good on you, Zoom.
You won this one, you fuckers.
Zoom is really going out with that viral marketing, man. Like they're really gone out of their way.
Well, we were one of their biggest sponsors.
We were, and then we quit.
And then we left.
And
by the same day.
And by the way, Papa Pat, we don't do this show to get followers. We do it for my mom.
That's true. Your mom is our only.
We are not here for you or anybody goddamn else. We're here. We are here. We are here for Caroline Baker. Lady's a saint, and I love you.
That woman's a saint. We all love Zach's mom.
Yeah.
Hello, Zach's mom.
But she sounds great.
She's fantastic. She's a nice lady. All right, everybody, have a good weekend. Backlash is tomorrow. Let us know if you watch it Thursday night. We'll be back. I had to take a break on Thursday night. We'll be back on Thursday night with Smart Mark Wrestling Radio. Let us know what you thought about WWE Backlash.
And UFC is tonight again. Free card on ESPN Plus. Free if you have ESPN Plus. I will not be making any picks because I looked at the roster, the card tonight, and I'm like, wow, I know 2 of these people, and I'm just going to be guessing. And so, sorry if you were tuning in to get the picks.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend. And go Warriors.
And go Warriors.
Go Warriors.